A Twitter thread on India's fight against the Wuhan virus by an American pandemic expert has gone viral. But before we go there, take a look at a few headlines from not so long ago. Do think about how accurate they all were. Hello and welcome to New India Junction. I'm Richa Dwivedi and this is The Bottom Line. American scientist Yaneer Baryan, who is an expert in quantitative analysis of pandemics, put out a tweet thread of how India went from 90,000 cases a day to just 10,000 cases a day. He said, and I quote, "It is time to recognize the scientific basis of India's success and give it its due," and spoke what he thought was the reason India did well in the fight against the pandemic. In no time, this thread went viral. India has about 8,000 cases per million, while the USA has 88,000 cases per million. UK has over 61,000 cases per million. India also has the lowest deaths per million among top 25 coronavirus affected countries. But didn't the NYTs and the WAPOs of the world keep telling us India is headed for doomsday? Then what went wrong? Rather, what went right for India? Let's see. India had a head start because it was among the quickest to react at the government and institutional level. China notified the world on 7th January 2020 about the Wuhan virus. The very next day, India had a mission meeting on 8th January 2020 to assess the risks. India started screening passengers from 17th January 2020, among the first countries in the world to do so. Prime Minister Modi first mentioned this pandemic to his cabinet on 29th January 2020 and asked them to take it seriously. He also said that India's response must be entirely science-based. Remember, at this time, India had not even seen its first case. The first case in India was detected on 30th January 2020, and aggressive containment and screening measures were instituted immediately. Leadership and bold decisions matter. In early March, Prime Minister Modi sent a very public message by saying he would not participate in any public gatherings on Holi, following scientific advice. This sent out a message to everyone that the virus meant something serious. Prime Minister Modi called for a complete lockdown on 24th March, when India had just about 500 cases.
आज रात 12 बजे से संपूर्ण देश में संपूर्ण लॉकडाउन होने जा रहा है.
He had also called for a unique Janta curfew earlier, just to get the nation mentally and logistically prepared for the long battle ahead.
22 मार्च रविवार को सुबह 7 बजे से रात 9 बजे तक सभी देशवासियों को जनता कर्फ्यू का पालन करना है.
An early lockdown, accompanied by a clear national address by the Prime Minister as to why it was necessary, was a key moment in this battle against COVID-19. If the lockdown was imposed late, it really would not have helped, since the exponential phase would have already set in, with hospitals filling and deaths piling up. The government used this period to create 15,362 dedicated health facilities, about 15.40 lakh isolation beds, 2.70 lakh oxygen-supported beds, and 78,000 ICU beds. It also delivered 32,400 ventilators to government hospitals across the country. Compare this with the fact that in the last 70 years, these government hospitals possessed only 12,000 ventilators. It also provided 3.70 crore N95 masks and 1.60 crore PPEs to state governments. PPE production is one of India's success stories and shows the country's resilience. From negligible amounts of PPE production, India zoomed to around 5 lakh PPE kits produced per day during the pandemic. When it came to testing and masks, India was among the first to introduce rapid antigen tests along with RT-PCR tests. India was criticized initially for this strategy, but later the WHO itself adopted this model. Large parts of India made masks mandatory way back in April itself, with Prime Minister Modi himself wearing masks in public since early April, while the WHO waited till June before recommending it the world over.
Caller tunes. India had caller tunes like these.
नमस्कार, हमारा देश और पूरा विश्व आज कोविड-19 की चुनौती का सामना कर रहा है.
To create awareness, urging people to wear masks, wash hands, and maintain social distancing.
While the world was still mulling over lockdowns, India entered into a smart unlock phase by cautiously opening up the country. Some parts were fully opened, some partly, and some parts still under restrictions, based on the data of infections. If India locked down earlier than many countries, it also unlocked faster. As far as the economy and the poor were concerned, this meant that the disruption from the pandemic did not turn into distress. Today, if the economy is firing all cylinders and seeing big growth forecasts from many institutions, the calibrated but early unlock was responsible. Now, even as many parts of the world are going through a second wave of the Wuhan virus, India has sprung back on its feet fully. Even as this is happening, the world's largest vaccination drive is on in full pace, with not just one, but 2 made in India vaccines. India is not only vaccinating itself, but also helping various countries in the world vaccinate themselves. Remember, this was an unprecedented situation where none knew the formula for beating this pandemic because there was no pre-tested approach. But India fared relatively well because its leadership took quick decisions and people trusted the credibility of the leadership and followed guidelines. The pandemic's not over yet, and we need to be as careful as always. However, as Yanir Baryam says, it's time to acknowledge India's success in handling the pandemic. While the world is still grappling with high infection numbers and low economic growth, India is perhaps the only major democracy having low infection numbers and high economic growth. It's an irony that experts from abroad appreciate India, but compulsive contrarians at home want to deny India its due.